I recently got a comment under one of my videos. It wasn't angry, it was worse. Thanks to your videos, our employees now have even more reasons to resist software implementation, quote unquote. At first, I was shocked. Then I got on a call with her and guess what? She was right. I've been arming employees with arguments against change, especially when it comes to CRM systems. But then I thought, why stop there? Why just resist when you can completely sabotage your company from the inside? So I sat down and listed 6 reliable ways to destroy productivity, stall innovation, and kill momentum. And then ChatGPT dropped me a bomb. While I used it to help me to refine the script, it said, "This sounds like simple sabotage field manual, a real book created by the CIA's predecessor to teach operatives how to bring down enemy organizations from within." And the craziest part? I've worked with companies that follow this playbook to the tie, without even realizing it. So I downloaded the manual, studied the tactics, and made this video. Let me know in the comments down below which of these techniques are alive and well in your company. Oh, and if you're new here, I'm Jeff Tiley, a CRM consultant. Today I'm teaching you how to make things not work. Let's begin. Let's kick things off with my all-time favorite way to bring any project to halt. Form a committee. The bigger, the better. About 5 years ago, I was working with a construction company in Eastern Europe. They had a manager. Let's call him Andy. Nice guy, polite, well-educated, sounded like someone who gets things done. Andy reached out saying they were looking for a software solution and our company seemed a perfect fit. We jumped on a call and 10 minutes in, he said, "Let's organize a call with a broader group of decision makers." Well, music to my ears, a client who wants to involve decision makers. Fantastic. So I prepped a full deck, sent out invites, and waited for the big day. That day came. I gave the presentation, and then Andy shimmed in. "Great presentation. Maybe we should also bring in an expert." Of course, the expert wasn't available. So we postponed until the next week. Next meeting, same story. But now 7 people showed up. Guess what happened next? Nothing. And that's where the magic of large committees happen. And here's why these sabotage techniques work so beautifully. First of all, it dilutes responsibility. In a crowd, no one's accountable. If a bad decision is made, you can always say, well, everyone else agreed. And since they were all part of it, no one's motivated to admit it was a mistake. Perfect cover. Second, it kills discussion, especially when you invite just the right mix of unqualified participants. Add a few clueless voices and suddenly smart people get quiet. They feel awkward, they feel shame. And that's when the wheels come off.
We need you to draw 7 red lines, all of them strictly perpendicular, some with green ink and some with transparent. Can you do that?
It's pretty close to being impossible.
What does that even mean? Impossible.
And here's the tip. Praise the dumbest idea in the room. They say, let's hear more expert opinions. Now you are really cooking with gas. From experience, I found that groups of 10 to 12 people are ideal for maximum dysfunction. Enough to stall momentum, too many for decisions, and just the right size for the illusion of progress. So next time someone suggests looping in a few more people, say yes, then add few more and watch the chaos bloom. This video was brought to you thanks to Monthly. Monthly is a digital consulting company. We help our customers implement CRM systems and digitalize their business. We're a small, creative, and very dedicated team of digital professionals. You know the game. Link in the description below. Now, another excellent way to sabotage your work is to delay decisions. Never decide anything on the spot. Always ask to gather more information, consult experts, and seek approval from someone above you. While getting that approved, be as vague as possible. Complicate things, confuse your decision makers, and of course, request even more information. The key is to distract attention with unnecessary layers of complexity. Take something simple like choosing a new coffee blend for the office kitchen. Sounds easy, right? Not if you're a true professional. Try saying this. Before selecting a vendor, we should revisit our internal refreshment procurement framework to ensure alignment with both employee satisfaction metrics and our sustainability goals. Also, we may need to launch a cross-department tasting pilot, perhaps one blend for marketing, another for tech, to accommodate different caffeine-sensitive profiles. And just to be safe, let's initiate a small task force to explore if this initiative can be tied into our DEI strategy via fair trade partnerships. Still too clear? Go one step further. Don't even mention coffee at all. Say, for example, we've identified a low-intensity morale dip in the mid-morning productive curve, potentially linked to unstructured communal engagement patterns. To address this, we are exploring a sensory stimulus intervention within shared operational zones within special focus on olfactory and gustatory impact points. Early-stage conversations are underway to define vendor-neutral input channels that could foster spontaneous cross-functional interactions, ideally without disrupting workflow continuity. In other words, stay professional. Say nothing directly, delay, and delay again. Because the last thing you want to do is an actual decision. Which brings us to my next point. I once joined a CRM project as a Salesforce consultant and was advised to speak with their marketing director to understand how we should integrate the company's marketing efforts into their CRM system. So I scheduled a call with him, and what followed was a long, eye-opening conversation where I found myself explaining to the marketing director what a lead is. At one point, it became clear he didn't even know they were running ads. I won't speculate on how that's possible, but I will say this. The person who promoted him, now, that's a real talent. And that's exactly what you should do. Find the least competent person in your company. Gather feedback about them. Write glowing performance reviews. Use every tool at your disposal to get them promoted into a role they have no clue how to perform.
Click it twice. Ah, English. Very well.
Have you seen my secretary?
This is hands down one of the most effective ways to sabotage large projects. I once worked for a company where our so-called people leader had close to zero soft skills, and if charisma could have been measured, his score would have been negative for sure. So the result, employees left, customers followed, and the company posted a six-figure losses by the year's end. Now that's how you do your job, brilliantly. Which brings me to my next story. Let me circle back to that Eastern European client I mentioned at the beginning of this video. The one who loved gathering massive groups for every meetings. Turns out he had another hidden talent, reopening decisions constantly. Yes, we eventually won the project, though it took nearly a year to get the contract signed. But once we got started, our goal was to implement a CRM system. And as with any software rollout, we had to make a few fundamental decisions like defining what counts as a lead, mapping out sales processes, and agreeing on what qualifies as closed-won or closed-lost opportunity. Sounds like simple and basic stuff, right? So we reached the point in the project where those decisions had to be made. I sent a clear email with a few questions to clarify these terms. A regional manager responded promptly with a solid, reasonable proposal. It wasn't perfect, but it was a great place to start. But then Andy had a higher quality standards. Apparently, replying to an email wasn't professional enough, so he pulled everyone into a meeting. In that meeting, we challenged the regional manager's proposal, made a few small tweaks, and agreed to move forward. Great, decision made. Until the next meeting, we were discussing a completely unrelated topic when someone who hadn't been involved in any of the previous conversations, joined the call. And that's when Andy struck. Hey, Tony, what do you think about this business process we drawn here? Classic Andy. Always revisit. Always reevaluate. Never let a decision live too long without doubting it. Because as a true professional, you should never settle on for anything. Progress is dangerous. Fast decisions are reckless. And if things move too quickly, you might not get to burn through the full project budget. So the rule is simple. Keep reopening what's already been decided. Always. Next, refuse to use the software or any tool your company is trying to implement, and justify it with two golden phrases. It's not ready yet, and it just takes too much time. Here's the thing. There is no objective measurement for when software is ready, or no universal standard for what's considered fast. What one person can do in seconds, another can claim takes hours. Be that person. Always be that person who takes hours. Your job is to hunt for the tiniest bugs, the smallest inconsistencies between how the software behaves and how the real world should work. Fixate on edge cases, those rare scenarios that only happen once every leap year, but which clearly prove the system is broken. Dig deeper into your experience and bring up the most complicated, exception-riddled situations where human creativity was needed to solve a problem. Then argue that no software could ever account for that nuance. That's how you build a case. This tool is misaligned with reality, and until it adapts to every unpredictable details of your day-to-day work, neither you nor anyone else can possibly use it. And finally, don't forget the cornerstone of effective sabotage. Hold unnecessary meetings and fill them with long, meandering speeches. Never, ever discuss anything in chat. That's efficient. Instead, schedule a meeting. Invite as many people as possible. Remember the golden rule. The more attendees, the slower the progress. Wait for everyone to join, and if someone's missing, postpone the meeting. Their presence is critical to wasting everybody's time. Once the meeting starts, take the floor. Talk. Talk a lot. Speak for so long that nobody dares multitask. Even better, randomly call on people to summarize what you just said. This ensures that they stay glued to your words just in case they are next. And bonus points if you invite senior management and insist everyone turns on their cameras. This adds pressure and ensures full attention is being paid to absolutely nothing. The ideal meeting is a completely useless all hands, talk about corporate culture, announce the formation of a few new committees, throw in some vague goals, sprinkle in words like alignment and synergy, and avoid action items at all costs. Now that's how you run a meeting and stop any real work from getting done. On that note, thanks for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments down below, and if you want to get things done, you better talk to me first. A link to my company website in the description below. See you next time. Peace.